Hello, I'm going to do a voiceover with the 2627 quiz review. As you can see, I have worked out the problem. Just a couple things. I'm looking for the slopes for these. So in terms of the usual dosage, I used a couple of points on the line and estimated that they deal with 160 and 100 respectively, and then 40 and 65. So that's where these ordered pairs came from. Similarly, I did the same thing with the couple of red points here. And again, I used the 80 and the 180, and that's where these points came from. And again, finding the slope is rise over run, just like we practiced in the past. Problem number 2 is dealing with a landscaping business. And since we're looking for the year since the year 2000, so the year 2000 is actually the 0. So that's why, even though this says 2000, I use 0 here. And the annual cost was 125,000. And then in 2020, that gave me the year 20. So that was the foundation for these ordered pairs. And like in the past, we did use a subtraction model to find the slope. And since it's a real world problem, it's got a pretty substantial slope. And then I use that into the point slope form, like we've done in the past with some smaller numbers. And with that in mind, we end up with the following work. And that gives me the equation right here. And then I used the equation with the year 2025, and that led me to plugging in 25 here. Again, since year 0 was 2000, the year 2025, my x was 25. And I plugged it in and calculated and got a bit more than $500,000 for the annual cost. Moving on to the next problem. Here we have systems of equations, which we talked about in 2.7. Check your notes. And we have two kind of relationships. We have the number of home jerseys and away jerseys adding up to 34, and that was this equation. And then in terms of the monies taken in, I ended up with a total of 508, and each home jersey or t-shirt was $17, and the away was 12. So 17 times the number of home jerseys, 12 times the number of away t-shirts, not jerseys. And again, you can kind of follow here. I used substitution. I subtracted that A over, substituted that in, and away I went here in terms of following the solving process. And I got the number of away jerseys was 14. And then I used that back up in my original expression here in terms of my solving for h to get out 20. And be sure that at the end, since it's a wordy problem, you got to give a little bit of a wordy answer. Alrighty. And finally, number 4 is a very similar to the last one. We had the cost per student and the cost per adult tickets for the total amount, kind of like our home t-shirt cost and home away t-shirt cost and total cost. And then altogether, the student tickets plus the adult tickets have to equal the total number of tickets sold. And for a high school chicken queue here, this is pretty good turnout here. Again, once we had the two systems, I used this equation here with some subtract to get that, which allows me to substitute back into here, which led to this kind of algebra work here to solve for A. And so we got the number of adult tickets sold was 340. And then I used that back in this expression to figure out the number of student tickets. And so that led to this, which led to that. And again, be sure that since it was a wordy question, we give a wordy answer. Hopefully this helped. Thank you. Bye.